Ayn Rand's anthem takes place in a dystopian society in the distant future. However, what is not known, unlike George Orwell's 1984, is the location and the time in which this society is currently in. What we do know, however, are some descriptions of the city that they currently live in, mainly from Equality 7-2521's tunnel in which he writes his journal. He talks about unnatural smooth rocks, which could be looked at as tiles, similar to that would line a subway station in the city of New York. And that would make sense since Ayn Rand lived in New York City, and of course subways were not prominent at this time in 1938 when the book was published. Anthem was published in the modern period of U.S. literature. This period covered 1914 to 1939. These dates would also encompass four major events within this period, which included World War I, the Jazz Age, the Harlem Renaissance, and the Great Depression. All of these would have effects on writing at the time, but Rand's books seem particularly important on the Great Depression and one other event that would happen in world history. To better understand how the modern period affected the writing of Anthem, two key points need to be understood. The first is the origins of Ayn Rand, and the second is the major historical event that she would encounter before she began writing Anthem. Ayn Rand was born in St. Petersburg, Russia in 1905. However, in her teenage years, the Bolshevik Revolution would sweep through Russia, thus transforming it into a communist society. Being a believer in individualism, Rand had many problems with communism, yet she would stay in Russia until she finished her education. At the age of 26, she would move to New York City, where she would live in the midst of the Great Depression. Both of these events brought about major social reform that favored the collective group over the individual. So out of both of these events, Rand wanted to show that capitalism and individualism were what would save a society from becoming a dystopia. Just like many other modern period writers, like Fitzgerald and Hemingway, with their books The Great Gatsby and A Farewell to Arms, Rand used historical events to create the conflict that we see in Anthem. The major symbol in Anthem is the light bulb. The light bulb has two different meanings, neither of which seem to relate back to the title. The first meaning is the light of truth. This light shows both the greatness and follies of man, leaving nothing in the dark. The other meaning is individualism. In the novel, Equality 7-2521, our protagonist is able to light up a vast amount of the tunnel he is in, and the council room with one light bulb. However, it would take several candles to do a much poorer job, thus showing that one individual can have greater power than the collective masses. Both of these meanings come together in Equality 7-2521's new name, Prometheus. And just like Prometheus, he steals the light away from the gods, or the council, and tries to deliver it to the world. The major theme in Anthem is the battle between individualism and collectivism. Rand clearly shows that there is more meaning in the individual than the collective group. This can be seen with the light bulb and how much power it has alone, and also in Equality 7-2521, or Prometheus, as he is able to power the light bulb and find the sacred word, which is I, all by himself. The novella was written in the spirit of showing how life would be like with no understanding of the word I, as seen in the quote on the screen. This life would be, of course, meaningless, as no one would be able to do anything for themselves.